if you've already mastered systems of 2 equations, let's learn 3 equations. It's not that much different. So I'm going to take 2 of the equations out of the 3, and I'm going to eliminate 1 variable from it. So I'm going to start by taking this top equation here. I like the fact that there's an opposite z here and here, so I can just add those 2 together and eliminate. So I'm going to rewrite the top and the bottom equation. I'm going to say 2x plus y minus z equals 9. Then I take the bottom equation directly underneath it. I'm going to write and put my like terms directly underneath one another. And then we got plus z here. Because that's plus z and this is minus z, we have opposites, and so we can just eliminate by adding these 2 equations together. This is equal to 4. Okay, so make sure I got everything written down exactly as it should be. Looks good to me. And I'm going to add together the 2 equations. 2x plus 5x gives me 7x. A y and a 7y is going to give me a total of 8y. And then we got opposites here, so those are going to cancel out, leaving me with no term of z. And 9 plus 4 is going to give me 13. So now I have this equation. I'm going to use that equation in just a second, but now I got to take 2 different equations and do the same thing. I'm going to have to eliminate one of the variables, specifically z. So I want to take this z here, and we have a 2z there. So if I just multiply this bottom equation by 2, I'm going to get a 2z term here, which can eliminate if we subtract, opposite of what we did here where we were adding because these were opposites. We'll just get matching 2z and 2z, and then what I can do there is I can just eliminate those by subtracting them. So here we go. Let's write down the middle equation, negative x plus 6y plus 2z equals negative 17. That's this middle equation, and I'm going to take this bottom equation, but think about taking it and just multiplying the whole equation by 2. Just distributing 2 to 5x, 7y, 2z, and 4. So we're just going to get ourselves a term here of 2z that we can eliminate. So what's 2 times 5x? That's going to give me 10x. 2 times 7y, that's going to give me 14y. 2 times z, that's going to give me my 2z. And then 2 times 4 is 8. So now we have these 2 equations, just like we got these 2 equations over here, which we didn't have to do anything special to them, like multiply by 2, because we had opposites already there. Now we had a 2z and a z, so we had to make these match. Now that we've made a match, let's just subtract the 2 equations and eliminate. That's going to cancel out, just like over here, those canceled out. Okay, now we've eliminated z from both of these. Both of these equations now have eliminated the z, and that's where is going to allow us to move on to the next step. So now we've got negative 1x minus 10x, that's negative 11x. We've got a 6y plus a 14y, well that's, or excuse me, not plus, oops, 6 minus 14. Okay, we're going to take that away. That's going to give us negative 8y. And then we got no z term equals negative 17 minus 8. That's going to take us all the way back to negative 25. Okay, so now what we have here, we've got this equation, which is just an x and a y term. We've got this equation, which is just an x and a y term. And we can use these 2 together to eliminate one of the variables. And then we'll be left with just an x, or just left with just a y. And once we get that first and final variable's value, then we can just start plugging it in to find the other 2. Okay, so now we've got 2 equations with 2 variables in them now. The problem up here is that we have x, y, and z, so we have to eliminate that z from both of them. Okay, now let's use a negative 11x plus 8y with 7x plus 8y. Good news is we have opposites here. That's going to take care of some business. So we got 7x plus y. Let's just rewrite this down here. 7x plus 8y equals 13. That's the equation we got without a z in it from the first 2. And now we're going to take negative 11x minus 8y equals negative 25. And that's the second equation we got from eliminating the z's from the other 2 equations. Okay, we used the middle one and the bottom one. for that. Okay, now we're going to eliminate here just like we did up here. We're going to eliminate, but we can go with x or y. Obviously, we want to eliminate the 8y's because they're already opposites. That's going to make life a lot easier. So we're going to cancel those out, but positive and negative are only going to eliminate if you add. So 7x plus negative 11x, that's negative 4x. 13 plus negative 25, that's going to take us all the way to negative 12. Yep, negative 12. Yep. Okay, now we're going to divide by negative 4, divide by negative 4, and look at this. We have found our first variable. X is equal to, okay, x is going to be equal to negative 12 divided by negative 4, which is a positive 3. Okay, so once you get your first variable, now life becomes so much easier because you can just plug it back into any of these other equations that you've created. So I'm looking at 2x plus y minus z equals 9. That doesn't work because we have an x, y, and a z. But if we wanted to use this equation here, 7x plus 8y equals 13, we could plug it into that. So let's just take 7x plus 8y equals 13, 7x, but instead of x, we're going to put 3 in there, plus 8y has to make a 13. So 7 times 3, that's 21, plus 8y equals 13. We're going to take away 21, cancels, take away 21. Now we got 8y equals 13 minus 21. Well, that's going to take you to negative 8. And now you just divide by 8, divide by 8. Y would be equal to a negative 8 divided by a positive 8, which is going to be negative 1. So now we know y is equal to negative 1. And now we can plug negative 1 in and 3 in for y and x into one of our original equations. Or we could use any of these others that still had a z in it. So we could go to this 2x plus y minus z equals 9. Let's use that to figure it out. So this x is equal to 3. We can just change that to a 3. We're just going to change that x right now. 2 times 3 plus y. We know y is negative 1, so that'd be plus a negative 1, which is no different than minus 1. So I'll just erase that and say minus 1. And then minus z equals 9. Okay, so we got to figure out what our answer here would be. 2 times 3 is 6. So we could just go over here and say 6 minus 1 minus z equals 9. 6 minus 1 is 5 minus z equals 9. Take away 5, take away 5. Oops, take away 5 from 9. Negative z equals 4. Divide by negative 1, divide by negative 1, cancels out. Z is equal to a 4 divided by a negative 1 is negative 4. So now that you have your x, y, and z value, you can give your answer right here in parentheses. X would be your first value. We got a 3. Your next value is going to be a negative 1. That's your y. And last but not least, negative 4. That is your z. Now you could go back through and double check these, but all we're doing really is just, and I absolutely would. I'd take 3, negative 1, negative 4. I'd plug it into the first equation, plug it into the second equation, plug it into the third, make sure it works. Honestly, once you plug it into the first 2, if it checks off of this one, it checks off of that one, pretty high likelihood it's going to also work for the third and final equation. That tells me that you probably did your algebra correctly. But just make sure that you take your time on this. You're taking 2 of the equations, eliminating one of the variables from it. Take another 2 of the equations, eliminate that same variable, so then you're left with just xy's, xy's. Once you have 2 equations with just xy in them, xy terms in them, then you can use those to eliminate, and then you're left with just the one and only variable that's left over. So once you've done that, you have your one variable's value, take that, plug it back into one of the 2 equations you created that just had 2 variables in it, That'll help you find your second variable. And to go to find your third variable, you can plug it back into one of the original equations, which had all three, x, y, and z. Hopefully this makes sense. Study hard and good luck on your upcoming test.